morning. I am Ann Brennan, and this is Marketing Moms, and we're missing somebody, but I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. Don't worry, she's not going long. She's coming back, thank God, because I don't really love to live my life without her. She is a integral part of my life and business, and I miss her terribly. But what are we? We are marketing moms, and we are marketing made easy. The idea is that it doesn't have to be hard to market your business. There's a lot to it, but it doesn't have to be hard. So we make it easy for you. We try to tell you things that you'll understand. We don't use a lot of acronyms. We don't use a lot of words that make no sense to you. We really just make marketing easy for you. That's our goal. So I am Ann Brennan. Anastasia Van Greshapy is the one who is missing today. But where is she? She has been gone for a couple of weeks. It's actually why we have not done the show in a couple of weeks. We've run some reruns, which is kind of fun. But we've run some reruns because Anastasia is in Australia for the first time in, I think, almost 3 years. I was trying to calculate it before I came on. I think it's been almost 3 years. She's gone to see her family. As you guys know, we're marketing moms because Anastasia insisted that we use mums instead of moms. And she did that because she grew up in Australia. She's actually Greek and Australian, and she's over there visiting family. So she'll be back soon. I know you miss her. I miss her terribly. I do want to remind you as we start the show today to subscribe on YouTube. It's really very helpful for a small business if you can go and subscribe to their YouTube page. I have a small business. It's called ASMM Digital Marketing. Most of what's over there is this. You may also go back and find some things about running, because when I started ASMM Digital, people say, how did you start it? Well, I started it as a blog about running. That makes no sense, I know, but there is rhyme to the reason. With that blog, I started learning everything I needed to do on social media to put my marketing degree to work for my business. And so at the time, it was a running blog and a running YouTube channel and a running podcast. We've changed it in the past 5 years. We started a business and things have changed. But you can go back and watch that as well. I want to remind you that you can ask questions here. We will see them and we will answer them. Sometimes we'll answer them live and sometimes we'll answer them after the show. It depends on what we see. So leave us a comment whether you're watching us on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. We're on all of them. So leave us a comment and we'll see it and we'll answer it for you. Sometimes we will actually take your question and use it as a show prompt. So if you've got a really good question, we want to hear it because it will help us come up with more shows. I also today want to talk about hiring and retaining your employees. And I want to tell you where this came about. Most of you know, I mean, we've all, unless you're hiding under a rock, everybody's talked about the fact that hiring is really hard. We see it every day. We see it in the restaurants we go to. We personally see it with our clients. We've had clients who, especially restaurant clients, who have had to say, "Well, we're just not going to do lunch anymore. We'll do dinner because we can't find enough staff to do lunch and dinner." Or we've had coffee shops who say, "Well, we'll stay open until 2. We're not going to be able to stay open until 7 like we used to because we can't hire enough people." But it's not just in restaurants. It's across the board. People are having a hard time hiring. And there's lots of reasons behind that. I can give you a billion reasons behind that. But right now, they're having a hard time hiring. So I want to talk about something that people are missing that I think is important for us to remember. What they're missing is using social media for marketing. Now, what I get a lot of is people calling me and saying, "Well, can you run a hiring ad for me?" Absolutely. We could do that. But what happens is that's just an ad. It goes out to a lot of people. They see it. They might call you. They might not. What we are suggesting is that to use social media marketing to attract employees, not just attract business, but attract employees. And they do both, but it's about culture. So I want to talk about starting with culture. And we talk to our people about this all the time. We talk to all of our clients about how important it is to show behind the scenes. What are you doing behind the scenes to attract customers and to attract other employees? So let's talk about some of the ideas there. I want to start with what we start with here, which is our core values. We start with core values. Our core values are gratitude and authenticity. It is huge for us. It runs through everything we do. Actually, I didn't start this. I should have said earlier, I've been gone. I was gone last week, actually, earlier this week. I was gone because I had my dad's memorial. Um, and I was so nervous about speaking at his memorial, but I think I've shared this here. A few years ago, I spoke with a speaking coach. I worked with a speaking coach or a life coach actually, and I said, I don't know what to do. I get on stage and I start talking, and I have all these things to say, but I just kind of vomit them out because I'm trying to rush and get off the stage. And she's the one who said, well, Ann, your core values are authenticity and gratitude. And she says, what can you do when you're up there? And I said, well, I can be myself because I'm always myself. And she says, yes, but what about the gratitude portion? So for me at my dad's funeral this week, I did speak and I didn't cry, and I was very happy about that. But one of the reasons was because I always start anytime I have to speak with gratitude. So I stood up on at the pulpit and I said, I'm grateful that my dad married Debbie Wilson, Debbie Coates Wilson, because she has given us so much strength. So I start every single speech with a bit of gratitude. Sometimes it's that I'm grateful for the audience, right? But this runs through everything I do. So my employees know I'm grateful for them. My clients know I'm grateful for them. People know I'm grateful for the mistakes I make. They know I'm grateful for my crazy dog Luna, who sometimes drives me loony, but I'm grateful for all of it. And that runs through, that's part of our culture, right? But when I ask my clients, when we meet for the first time, I ask my clients, what are your core values? Sometimes they have a hard time finding those, and we can help them uncover them. What is important to you? So we do find that we have to ask that question, what are your core values? But then, even if they know their core values, I'll say, do your employees know it? And they almost always say, no, they don't know it. So Ivan Eisner, who started BNI, he says, culture beats, oh my gosh, culture beats, oh my goodness, something every day. And I can't believe I can't remember the line. But culture is so important for your employees, for your potential clients, for everybody you deal with. Your culture in your business matters. So start with culture, and that starts with your core values. So I say this, what does it have to do with social media? I want you to think about it this way. If you create a culture that you love, then you can take that and put it on social media. So mine is gratitude. One of the things I do is when I have an employee who's done something great, we post about them. We post about their birthdays. We post about them in particular, not just us. Yes, our business, it's important. We want to talk about the services we offer. But I want to talk about my employees as well because I love them and I think they're great. And if I start on social media by praising them, first of all, it gives them kudos and they like it. And so that they're more likely to stay loyal to me, right? And it gives people a chance to see what our culture is like. People might want to come work for us just because we show that. We show the birthday parties we have. We show the times that we're giving flowers because they've been with us for a year. We show the times that we're taking them out to dinner or we're doing other things for them. That culture matters, and you can use social media to do that. Also, I will tell you, I worked for a person one time, and it does matter for your customers. Okay. So yes, your employees want to see it, your potential employees want to see it, but I don't want you to get sidetracked and think, oh, it's only going to be for them, because people really will pay attention to how you treat your employees. It matters. And I tell you this because one time I was working somewhere and the owner of the business came out and really berated everybody who was working there. Everybody. And there was a person who I was talking to, and I was actually selling something that was worth a couple of $1,000, and it would have been a good profit for him. They said, I'm so sorry. I know you spent the time here, but I can't support him. That matters. If you don't believe it, really look at it. The way you treat employees matters. So showing that on social media will help potential clients as well. When you show them how much you love your employees, it will also show the employees. It will also show the potential employees. So culture, culture, culture. I can't say it enough. If you want to talk to us about it, we would love to have an hour-long meeting. It's not free. It's a consultation, but we can really walk you through what that culture means and how you can put it on social media. That's such an easy thing to do. It takes work, though. You have to think about it. You can't just be, we said, my husband's like, gratitude and authenticity, those are your two core values. What about truthfulness? What about um, honor? What about these other things? And yes, of course, those are important, right? Honesty is really important. But what runs through everything we do are those two things. We just talked to somebody recently, Plus One Rentals, and theirs is this personal service idea. They really believe in personal service, not just it's not just something they say, it's actually something they do. So I love them. I actually get tickled by them because I said to them, I use a specific rental company to rent tents. I have for years. And I have yet to meet this person. I have yet to talk to them. And no matter how many times I call and say, hey, our event's coming up, they say, what size tent do you need? And I have to go back through my records and look and say, oh, it's this size tent. They don't say to me, hey, this is the size tent you got last year and you got this size stage. Have you thought about adding something on the front that does this? Or have you thought about adding something along the back that lights it up? They don't do that. And this other company, Plus One Rentals, does. That is really important to them, that they can give you those extra things, those extra tips. Yes, they might make more money on it, but the truth is they know it's going to help you. So that personal service matters. So don't just call it in. Don't just dial in your core values. Really think about them. And I spent a lot of time talking about that. The rest of these will not be so long, but I want to make it clear that it all starts with culture. It all starts with culture, period. One of the ways to attract employees, and we have talked about this before, it's great. Again, it's great for your potential clients, but cause marketing will attract employees that matter, that want to be a part of what you're doing. If you think about Patagonia is all about cause marketing. They are all into it. They're talking out constantly about the environment and helping people live more outside and all of that part of their culture. That's a huge part. And it attracts people who want to be a part of it. Burton, and I'm going to forget the name of it. I think it might just be called Burton, the ski clothes. Same thing. They're all about making sure their employees have time to spend outside. That's important to them, right? That is really important. And people who work for them go there because they know that health and fitness and being outside is part of their core value, part of their culture. For us, suicide prevention is a huge part of it. Mental health is a huge part of it. And that runs through, yes, let's go back to this. We have burgers and bands for suicide prevention. We created it. They are one of our biggest clients. Not that they don't pay us, but they are one of the most important clients to us. We spend a lot of time marketing for them. We spend a lot of time planning for the events that we have, and we spend a lot of time going out and giving them the money away from these events that we have. That's important to us. But I want to say that it also runs through what we do. We say mental health matters. Why does this matter to me? Why am I saying this about employee retention? Mental health matters a lot, which means I don't want my employees working over 40 hours a week. I don't want them stressed out. If they call me and say, I am having a tough day, I am likely to say to them, go outside and go for a walk. If I see, this is really adorable, but we have interns who I just adore, and they sit out at a big, what we call our kitchen table. It's really our conference room table, but it's a kitchen table. And they'll sit there, and I can sometimes see them, they're rubbing their heads or they're running their hands through their hair, and they're stressed. And I'll say to them, you know what? Get up and go for a walk. And they say, do I need to clock out? And we say, no, because part of our culture is mental health, right? So cause marketing matters, and it should run through what you do. I want to advise you to choose wisely. If mental health matters to you, yes, choose that. But if that's not what matters to you, if it's not something you can get behind 100%, then it's going to be hard for you when your clients dedicate some time to that as opposed to what you think they should be doing right now. And for us, we really want our employees to come to our events. That's important to us. We really want our employees, when the phone rings and it has something to do with burgers and bands, we want them to take their time with that call. Right. So make sure it matters to you when whatever you choose. It could be there's the SPCA down the road from us. It could be Meals on Wheels. It could be I love Washington Gas. They have a whole program around helping communities, people in communities winterize their homes. They bring all their employees in on a Saturday. They send them out to people's homes and they help them winterize their homes to save money on their electric bills, on their gas and electric bills. That's part of their cause marketing. And their employees actually enjoy that. They enjoy that part of what they're doing. They feel like they're a part of something big and that they're working for a company that really cares. That really matters today. It's actually part of what we're seeing in people leaving is that they feel like they're working for somebody who doesn't care. They're working for people who they're all about the bottom line. And that doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't work anymore. They want to know that people care. The Ronald McDonald House has been doing this for years. McDonald's has been doing this for as long as I remember McDonald's. I'm trying to think. The first time I remember McDonald's, I think I was 3 years old, and I remember Ronald McDonald, and they've been doing the Ronald McDonald House for years, right? So think about the cause marketing you've seen out there and how it's attracted to you to them as a customer, but maybe how it also makes you think, gosh, I'd like to work for them. What a great company to work for. They're doing such great things. So cause marketing and showing that in social media, showing your cause, showing how your company is supporting this cause is huge. This is one we talk about a lot. We talk about it over and over again. It goes back to the culture, but I think about a day in the life. We used to. They actually went out of business during COVID. Fleet Feet Gaithersburg. They were bought out by the corporate company, but Fleet Feet Gaithersburg. When we were there, we would go out and we would take pictures, and it wasn't just that we're taking pictures of the shoes. We would take pictures of we'd start it early in the morning when the packages would come in. We'd take pictures of them opening up the shoes. We'd take pictures of them putting the shoes on the wall. We'd take pictures of them being silly, climbing up on the shelves to get something from a tall part of a tall shelf, right? We took pictures of them going for runs with their customers. We took pictures of them giving dogs the bone. They had bones at the front, and they would give the dog a bone who would come in with their runner and friends. That shows through. You can do this for your team. We do it. We'll take pictures of us sitting at our table. We'll take pictures of us. You've probably seen the picture of Anastasia pouring tea. Tea is a huge part of our culture. Every day we gather and we drink our tea or we drink our coffee. It's a huge part of what we do. Where we are because we're collaborating while we're having tea. We're not just having tea, we're actually collaborating. We're talking about our clients and it's a friendship that has developed because we spend that time around the teapot, right? So think about taking photos of a day in the life and doing this on a regular basis. You don't have to do, here, let me show you the whole day at one time. You can show different parts of what you do throughout your social media. Make sure it's there. Again, it attracts customers because it makes you more human, but it attracts employees because they go, that looks like a really fun place to work, right? Really fun place to work. So think about day in the life pictures. One of my clients, I want to talk about this because sometimes it's not about anything that has anything to do with work. So one of my clients posted a picture. He's messaged me and he says, "Hey, I'm going to post this picture. Is it okay?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And it was funny because it showed a heron was standing right outside his glass front door. And he's like, "I can't go anywhere because he's been standing there for the longest time and I don't want to shoo him off." But it showed a couple of things. It showed the fact that their office has this, they're right on the water. They have this beautiful view. They have these wildlife that come. And it kind of gave this picture of, oh, What a nice place that would be to work. I could go outside at lunch and stand by the water. I could maybe take my kayak out. I could go for a walk along the water's edge. What would my life be like if I worked with that employee? Right? Employer. So think about what are the things you can show that might entice people to come work for you that have nothing to do with your real business, but also show that you're human, right? I talked about recently when I was down in December, when I was down in um, Alabama and Columbus, Georgia, for my dad was in hospice. And while he was there, we stayed at the Marriott. And we personally shared the pictures, but they shared too some of the things they did for us during that time, which included putting together all the employees got together and put together a beautiful basket for me because it happened to be my birthday during this time when my dad was dying. And it was just the sweetest thing for them to do. But that is a really great thing they could put on social media and say, we really care about our guests, right? And it shows the employees, right? But it also shows the guests. Well, I want to be a part of that. Look how human they are. They didn't just treat her as any other person who was there. They took extra care to take care of her because her dad was dying. So please do think about what are those things that you do every day and try to document them in a way that shows you're more human and shows employees that you're a great place to work. Also, give credit where credit is due. In that case, it was Fiona who worked at the front desk. She's the one who did that. So in this case, what they said is Fiona organized this for our guest, right? Fiona did this. Give her that credit because it shows other people that, gosh, when your employee does something great, you're not going to take credit for yourself. You're going to give it to this other person. So your employee. So it shows them, sure, your current employee, that you care about them, and it shows other people that you care about your employees. Again, social media isn't just for marketing to your potential customer. It's not all sell, sell, sell all the time. If it is, people are just not going to be interested. That's why people don't watch commercials on TV anymore, right? You zoom through them, or you watch Netflix or Hulu or something like that doesn't have the commercials, right? We all do it. All right. They can't work for you if they can't find you. This is a really practical tip. I want to make sure you understand it. We are currently working with an IT company. I don't want to throw them under the bus right now. We will talk about them later about some other things, but they have this great name. They are really cool. They have a really cool calls marketing plan. They have all of these things in place. They're doing all of them. They have a ping pong table and a foosball table, and they do all of these really, really cool things, but they don't put it out there. And people don't know them. So they go to job fairs looking for employees, and people go, I've never heard of you. Well, if they've never heard of you, they can't find you. How are they going to work for you? So I want to explain that social media helps your SEO. So it's important to think, I'm going to be on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter and Google My Business. Actually, they didn't have a Google My Business account. So you need to make sure they can find you, and social media will help them find you. I want you to remember that. Doing the social media will help people find you, even if they don't find you on the website. They'll find you through social media and they'll remember you. Whereas your website is often dry, your social media can be out there and show what you do. They can show if you have wacky hair day, or if you have something interesting that you do every year for whatever reason, whether it's your calls marketing or your birthday celebrations or your anniversary celebrations, or gosh, we go skiing every year, right? Whatever it is, make sure that's out there, because the more you put it out there on social media, the more likely people are to find you. It helps your SEO. And I said I don't use acronyms. Search engine optimization. And it's just a fancy way of saying help people find you, right? Help people find you when they go to the search engine. Help people find you when they go to Google. Help them to find you when they go to Bing. People do use Bing. Help them to find you when they go to DuckDuckGo, I think is what it's called. So help people to find you by using social media to show your employees and to show your human side. It is that simple. Help people find you. I do want to go back to celebrating your current employees. I want you to start a list for yourself. What can you do to celebrate your employees? Have your employees done something different lately? I want to tell you, let me celebrate Anastasia. Anastasia is in Australia. She's been there for 2 weeks. So today, it's tomorrow for her, right? So she's busy. She's off kilter because of the time change. There's all kinds of reasons that she could have just said, I'm visiting family and I'm going to leave everything else to the side. But no, she found out. I'm going to celebrate Anastasia here. She found out that NHS the National Honor Society at Severna Park High School wanted to give the bracelets, the yellow bracelets we used to see for Livestrong, wanted to give one of those bracelets to all the students with the mental health hotline on it. And she could have said, hey, Anne, can Burgers and Bands do that? She didn't do that. Instead, she arranged from Australia, she arranged with a vendor here to put these things together, and she paid for it out of her own money to do that. That means a lot to me as a person who cares about mental health, as an organization that has created a mental health nonprofit. The fact that my employee does that means a lot to me. And I want to share how important it is to me to say thank you to Anastasia. And really, I'm so grateful to watch what she is doing out there. By doing that, when I talk about her, she sees how much I appreciate her, right? She sees that it's important. She's more likely to stay if she knows she's appreciated. She's more likely to keep working for me. And other people who go, gosh, she really loves Anastasia. I mean, Anastasia doesn't just work for her. She really cares a great deal about her. And I do. And that's important. So people want to work for us because we do care about them, our employees. When they call and they say, hey, my kid is sick, we say, well, stay home with your kid. Don't even worry about this. We got you, right? We'll cover you. And that's so important. It runs through everything. So think about, how can you celebrate your current employees? Did they run a marathon recently? Did they run a 5K? Have they lost weight? Have they christened a new baby? Have they gone and done a wonderful trip that you're amazed by? Have they planned something? Have they volunteered for something? How can you celebrate your employees and show people how much you care about those employees? Because I guarantee you, if you can show your appreciation to your employees on your social media, you're going to keep more of your employees and you're going to attract better employees coming forward. It is amazing how far appreciation will go. Actually, I'll tell you, I'm going to stop for just a second and kind of give you another thing. I told my son this weekend, compliments go a long way. I do this thing where when I'm running or I'm biking, I will compliment people as I pass them. And sometimes it will have to be as simple as, oh my God, I love those socks. Those are the coolest socks. Or I love that jacket. Those are the coolest jacket. And what I will find is runners will go from being down here to being up here when you compliment them. It goes a long way to compliment and show appreciation. So do show appreciation for your current employees, not just privately, but publicly as well. And think outside the box. It doesn't have to be something they've done at work. It can be something they've done in their private life that you're amazed by. So do that. Do celebrate your current employees. All right. Social media takes some time. So are you too late? I'm going to go back to something I have said over and over again. The best time to plant a shade tree was 50 years ago. The second best time is today. You may not put these things up here and have employees coming to you left and right. It may take some time. But if you don't start today, you're going to have to build tomorrow and the next day and the next day. The longer you wait, the longer it takes. So do start now. Even if you're like, I want to hire a social media agency to do it, we would love to have you. But even if you're going to do that, I encourage you to go right now and find somebody who you can appreciate in your business and talk about them on social media. And actually, you know what? We will do something for you. Go and celebrate them and then tag ASMM Digital wherever you are, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or wherever you are. Tag us and we will share that with all of our followers. We will share that with all of the followers from Marketing Moms, with all of the followers from our social media accounts, and maybe even put it in our newsletter. So share, How are you celebrating your employee? Put it on social media, tag ASMM Digital, and let us know. And we will share that with our people. And bonus points, if it's mental health related, we will share that with Burgers and Bands because we think it's that important that you do it. So I want to remind you that we have a blog. I gave you a lot of information today. This is the sort of information that's over on the blog, but it's different. Sometimes we've talked about it here. A lot of times we haven't because there's so much information about marketing out there. So make it a habit. We put out a new blog post every single Monday. We have done it for 3 years now. Tip helps our SEO, helps our people who are coming to us and looking for some help, but it also helps you because not everybody can hire an agency. And we know that. And we want to give you that information that you can use for your business because eventually maybe you'll grow big enough that you go, gosh, I want to hire an agency now. And maybe you'll hire us. We'd love that. Or maybe you'll hire somebody else. And we can tell you about some other great companies as well. I do want to go because it is almost March. In May 15th, we're having our next Burgers and Bands event. It is going to be at the Severna Park Tap House, which was our original location. This will be our 6th year in a row of doing Burgers and Bands. The money we raise, some goes to American Foundation for Suicide Prevention because that's why we started this in the first place as an American Foundation for Suicide Prevention charity. But we raised so much money that we thought, okay, what do we do with what is left over after that donation? And so the rest of that money goes into mental health organizations in our community, mental health initiatives in our community. So maybe it goes to NAMI, maybe it goes to Warrior Music Foundation, maybe it goes into a local school, maybe it goes into a local homeschooling group who is putting together a mental health initiative for homeschoolers or homeschooling parents, because I can imagine that they would need that if you are always with your kids. I would think you might need some mental health help. So, I mean, I love my kids, but I do get a break from them. So anyway, the point is we give this money back to our community and we do it every single year. We don't keep any, we don't have any employees. As a matter of fact, we have a hard time getting grants because we have no employees, but that's because we have amazing volunteers and we don't need employees. And we're happy not to get the grants and just get the money that we raise at Burgers and Bands to give to these other people. So that is me. If you would like to sponsor Burgers and Bands, we would love to have you there. If you would like to come to the event, would love to have you there too. It's a lot of fun. If you just want to share and tell people about it, that would be very, very welcome. We like people to know about what we're doing because we think it makes a big difference. We really appreciate you for tuning in. We hope that you got a lot out of this. Hopefully next week, Anastasia is going to be back and over her jet lag and ready to go because talking all this time by myself is not all that easy. I hope you have a great day, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.